All right, everybody, good evening. First Alert Meteorologist Justin Bradford here, taking a peek at what's going on all across mid-Michigan tonight. We have a line of severe storms going to be getting ready to move in here before too long, and a couple folks are already seeing some warned storms across the area. So what we want to do is kind of break down what you're going to expect coming up ahead of our 11 o'clock newscast on our air here. We're going to take a peek at that across the region right here. So I wanted to first show our Tuesday night kind of breakdown here. We still are expecting areas to see wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, heavy rain, and even golf ball sized hail, which has been viewed in some storms moving towards mid-Michigan tonight. The tornado risk is still very there as well, especially in southern sections of mid-Michigan. So for the most part, if you're north of I-94, you're more likely to deal with the heavy rain, wind gusts, and large hail. If you're south of I-94, that's where you got the greater opportunity to see potential for tornadoes headed into this evening. So here's satellite and radar, and you can see a couple of layers here that we want to discuss. First off, there are a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings through Ionia County, and then also through northern Clinton County and southern Gratiot County as well. This is now extended out towards Saginaw Bay as well, where those the pink shading here that you're seeing are watches that are in place, and then you've got down in the yellow near the state line, those are tornado watches. Severe thunderstorm watches are in the pink shade, and the dark red, the light red would indicate a tornado warning, which we do not have at this time in the state of Michigan. However, those dark reds you see are going to be for flooding, and you can also notice that those are generally kind of following the same path as our severe weather alerts that we've got for the thunderstorms. That's because there's very heavy rain. These thunderstorms are doing what we call training. They're continuing to just dump enormous amounts of water and sort of feed off themselves, also creating some large hail with these storms. And the one out in particular that's moving through southwest Ionia County now is a very slow mover, only going about 20 miles per hour speed, whereas the other one's going closer to 40, 45 miles an hour. Kind of a backed out view on satellite and radar shows where the rest of these storms are. A lot of them down south of the state line have had tornado warnings at some point. It doesn't look right now like there's too many of those anymore in Indiana or out in Missouri there, but in Illinois they're still dealing with a couple that are moving through. Fortunately, a lot of that activity for now appears on a trajectory to stay south, but the line you see out over Lake Michigan that's starting to form and come together north of Chicago is getting set to move into our neck of the woods heading into tonight. And so once again, those risks for us are elevated for a tornado, especially south in mid-Michigan. The large hail and the strong winds are what we're going to mostly expect, but the flooding opportunity, that's very high for tonight, because not only do we see the storms move through bringing very heavy rain, we see continued heavy rain into tomorrow morning as well. So here's our hour-by-hour forecast with one of our models headed through this evening. Could still see a flare-up shower or storm in the next hour or two here, but for a lot of us, it's going to be close to or even after midnight that these set in. So if you're watching us right now, have a way to be weather alert, have that first alert, and stay weather aware heading into our overnight period is when we expect these storms to move in. Here's the line stopping, for instance, at 2 a.m. Still some very heavy rain right over the top of us according to this model, and that looks to even be true heading into parts of our Wednesday as well. And so once again, we're continuing to track that potential for heavy rain into our early Wednesday. Even if it doesn't necessarily come with severe weather tomorrow, we're still going to see the ponding on the roads out there and a whole lot more to discuss with that. And so coming up at 11 o'clock here on our main channel here, WILX TV 10, we're going to have First Alert Meteorologist Andy Provenzano. I'm going to be here as well, potentially helping out, and I wouldn't be surprised if First Alert Chief Meteorologist Darren Rockhold isn't in here as well at 11 o'clock. We're going to have team coverage breaking down everything, either behind the scenes or on air, certainly, to bring you that First Alert forecast. So be sure to stay up to date with us as we go throughout all of that over these next several hours. But once again, in the meantime, have ways to receive alerts tonight. Make sure that if you do receive any severe thunderstorm or any warnings like that, be sure that you have a safe place to go, whether it's the most interior room in your house or the lowest level of your house. If you can do both, that's the best thing that you can do. And if you haven't already and have the opportunity, maybe just bring the car under somewhere where it's under shelter if you can, if you have that opportunity to do so. Thanks for watching. We'll see you coming up on the show at 11 o'clock here.